So today I'm pleased to announce we're working with Congress to invest $40 billion in our Pacific Islands Infrastructure Initiative. We call it the PI anyway. It doesn't matter what we call it, but that's what it is. I was going to get back to acronyms, and I'm going to withstand not doing it.
Oh my gosh, guys, I can't. This is so bad. It's a PGI, PTT, PI, doesn't matter what we call it. That's what it is. Well, what is it? Because we don't even know what you call it. What? Welcome back to the program. That's Joe. That's the President of the United States. I'm sure Xi Jinping is terrified. Golly, welcome back to the program. You can listen coast to coast. You can stream the radio show. You can watch the simulcast on channel 347, DirecTV, YouTube, Facebook. I got to get reaction from one of the most just driest humored person that we know. It's why we enjoy his thoughts. So Stephen Yates at Yatescom, Senior Fellow at America First Policy Institute, Chair of the China Policy Initiative. Really insightful remarks there, Stephen, from the President of the United States. Just wanted to get your top line thoughts.
I don't know, Dana, in like a dozen years, I think you flat out killed me the most with that segment. That was just absolutely lethal, tripping over foot, tongue, hoof, and mouth, everything in there kind of babble. I mean, I just have one fiscal rule. If you can't freaking say what the money is for, don't spend $40 billion.
That's it. Yes, this is when I wish we had like a stadium amount of people as applause.
My gosh.
Studio audience.
Pacific Island's great, but come on.
This is so bad. This was so bad. So this was a part of, this is what I love the most. It was a part of his charm offensive, Stephen. His charm offensive, hosting Pacific Island leaders in the United States. Reuters had the story. He was at this summit and talking to these leaders to block further inroads from the CCP. But apparently he doesn't know what it is.
And it doesn't matter, apparently. He sort of trails off. I mean, he'll give you a Medal of Honor. He'll give you $40 billion and just get disinterested halfway through and just walk off. So it's just mind-blowing. So yeah, all of whatever the strategic pop and sizzle was supposed to be in this, I've listened to people for a decade talk about, we need to take care of the Pacific Islands. I'm sympathetic to some of those arguments. The Pacific is big. My grandfather fought in the Pacific in World War II. This can get strategically relevant to American families at some point, and we shouldn't cede this to Chinese aggression. And we should have our allies do more also. So, I mean, there's a case to be made. I wish somewhere in the gray matter of the president, he could have found the wherewithal to just say some of those things. And if he couldn't, how about pick someone who can to at least get up there and talk about it? And he can get out there like the old guy in the old British show, Are You Being Served, would come out and just shake his cane and go, "You've all done very well," and just walk off. Because that's all he seems to be good for at this point. He can't even read 2 sentences of talking points for billions of dollars.
I mean, I'm looking at photos of this, and he's sitting with all these leaders, and a lot of these people are. I think that there's a difference between being so old and then just being old, and also I think he's had strokes. I don't want to speculate about that, but I mean, I feel like he has. I mean, we all have had that person in our family. But all these other people, there's a ton of people, video and photo, that are sitting at this table with him that are probably his age, if not older. They're fine being able to express, what their nations need and what they don't. And I think you made a phenomenal point that is not talked about enough, which is the importance of the Pacific. And like your grandfather, my grandfather was out there. He was on USS Alabama. And one of my favorite aspects of World War II history is all of the maneuvering that our naval forces had to do in the Pacific, and how whether it was Midway or Coral Sea or all of this, just the importance and how difficult it can be strategically to maintain enough dominance so that we're a force to be reckoned with. We're protected by the threat of violence. And that's ultimately what it is, peace through strength. And he's not delivering with that. And that's like to me, that's what these summits seek to reinforce. You're reinforcing and helping to cement further these relationships. We're not doing neocon stuff where we're building anybody. We're having these relationships with these nations, which is supposed to also help be a force multiplier in our efforts here. And this administration, it's like they put the least amount of effort, Stephen, into this, the least amount.
Absolutely. No, I mean, the doing this right kind of keeps the competition, the contention closer to China's shores, further
Yes.
away from our own. And it gets other people to feel like they've got skin in the game, taking up efforts ranging from clean communication systems to continuing to trade in dollars and following the standards that the free world has set, all kinds of things that would give us some hope of containing and pushing back against the malign influences of the Communist Party of China and any other bad actors, whether it's Russia, Iran, and others that want to jump into that hopper. So I mean, this is worthy tilling of land, albeit in a giant big body of water. It is, I mean, we sacrificed so much to accomplish the victory in World War II and to hold freedom of navigation on these high
Yes.
seas. It was the foundation of a tremendous boom in global trade and commerce that led us to, air quotes, smart life today. And
Exactly.
this is possibly the dumbest way to save smart life.
Now, to this, we're talking with our good friend Stephen Yates. The Hill reports that the Philippines condemned China's. They had a nice little floating barrier right there in the South China Sea because they basically claim everything is theirs. They're like the seagulls in Finding Nemo. It's all mine, mine, mine. And the authorities in the Philippines condemned the China Coast Guard because they installed this floating barrier in this disputed territory, and it's like preventing their fishing boats from entering I mean, this is, it's disrupting, the maritime activity here. Tell me about this, because it's like just little bitty, like incrementally, like doing these annoying things. If they're not sending planes over, they're doing these very annoying things just to like push it ever so close to that line.
Well, it's really close to sovereign nation shores. And so if anyone looks at where this stuff is physically taking place, it's a good ways from China's legitimate
Yeah.
waters. And it's really encroaching on the Philippines. They're doing similar things in other parts of the South China Sea. They also increasingly use things that are not considered to be military vessels. And so it shows kind of the dual use of fishing vessels and other things that wouldn't be counted as part of the military, which means China's military force and its budget is bigger than the pencil-necked experts have ever said, because they'll literally flow everything your way to overwhelm. That's what they're trying to do to the Philippines, to get them to back off. I mean, we've been blessed so far that with tremendously weak leadership out of Washington, Xi Jinping's China's been so aggressive that Southeast Asia has been cheesed off enough to stand up for itself for now. But it's hard for them to feel like they're doing it alone. We do need to get our act together and try to stitch together coalitions over there that don't rely on America to be the first sharp edge of the spear to push back on China.
No, definitely. I mean, hopefully we can see something like that. Last quick thing for you: China on the brink, from UK publication. Xi Jinping's new power plot, single man crisis, sends the economy into a free fall. We've talked a lot about the economy, and this is. I think what a number of different geopolitical experts, however you want to put that, have said. I know their economy's floundering. Is it really so much just him? I mean, it sounds like, I don't know. I don't know how to take this. I don't know how to take this narrative.
Well, I mean, I think if you're going to be dictator in chief and you're going to censor people for putting Winnie the Pooh images on social media and stuff like that, people can rightly blame you for anything that goes wrong in the country, because you've intruded to such the micro level that you basically earn that opprobrium when everything goes wrong. I think it's more of a system. The Communist Party has never been a gift to the Chinese people. It's been a disease that's been living among them. The only reason they have profited and modernized is because we showered them with money and technology and favorable access. And frankly, a lot of goodwill that maybe wasn't deserved by the government, but might have been deserved by the long-suffering people. But that jig is up at this point. The property sector in China looks to be very vulnerable to bubble-like conditions. A lot of economic experts, whether they're writing in British or American business publications, say that it's really at a dangerous level. I believe that to be the case. The problem with these bad regimes are that they stick around much longer than statistics say they should. And so I think we got a risk corridor here because the economy is weak. She will appeal to nationalism. She will pick fights with anybody else. to draw attention away. And that's the problem we're living with: South China Sea, Taiwan, and stuff coming to us.
Yeah, exactly. Well put. At Yates Comms on Twitter, our good friend Stephen Yates. Always so good to see you. Thank you so much for your expertise. I don't know what we'd do without you. We're sorry that we killed you with that soundbite, though.
Yeah, it wrecked me today. Thank you, Danny. Take care.
Thanks. You too.